It's Saturday, February 25th, 2023. I'm TC Kirkham, and this is the Kirkham Report. Happy Saturday, everyone. I'm TC Kirkham, the Kirkham Report. Welcome to this week's show. I got a lot of stuff I want to go over, some concerning the show, some other things going on, and a cover story that is really pissing me off, and that's coming up right now. It is official. After months of speculation, American Song Contest producer Christian Bjorkman, said at the Spanish Eurovision announcement last week that the American Song Contest will not return in 2023. NBC was not happy with the show, and many fans are not happy with NBC's coverage of the show. It is no surprise that the American Song Contest fell flat on its face because of NBC's absolute reluctance to follow the tried and true Eurovision format. But there's even more going on when it comes to the show in the behind-the-scenes area. Producer Bjorkman does say that he hopes the contest will return in 2024, preferably, I wouldn't be surprised, on a new network home. The show, like American Song Contest, cannot be a success overnight. It took its parent, Eurovision, almost 10 years to find its footing, really catching on in the mid-1960s after launching in 1957. But honestly, how could they ever expect it to work here when NBC treated it like the bottom of the barrel? It continued to ignore everyone's commentary about how it was working. It ignored the critics about how to do the show. It ignored everybody. In all fairness, NBC is just not a very good network anymore. Since Comcast purchased it several years ago, it has become a shell of what it used to be during the days of Grant Tinker and Brandon Tartikoff. NBC obviously not knowing how to program it, and it also leaves the question up as to whether Eurovision will continue to have a home with NBC's streaming service Peacock. I'm looking into that, and we'll find out in the next week or two. But in any case, there is hope for the American Song Contest, and it is hoped it will return next year. When it does, I hope they listen to the critics and me in following the Eurovision format. It cannot be done in the format NBC did it. They broke it up over 8 weeks. There was virtually no promotion of the songs, and none of the songs charted on Billboard's Hot 100, and that falls on America's stranglehold on radio. With Clear Channel, aka iHeartRadio, and several other major conglomerates owning 95% of the radio stations in the country, it is up to them to promote these songs. The fact that radio doesn't promote even Eurovision champions very often, it's become obvious that they're just not interested in doing that. In the last 25 years, only 2 songs from Eurovision have charted in America. Duncan Lawrence's 2019 winner, Arcade, and more recently Rosalind's entry into the 2022 contest called Snap. Those two both made the Hot 100. Snap in the lower reaches. Arcade eventually peaked at number 30. What happened to the days when Eurovision songs were all over the American charts in the mid-70s? There was Waterloo by ABBA. There was Save Your Kisses for Me by Brotherhood of Man, a #1 AC hit here in America. There was Eras 2 by Mocedades in 1974, which was the runner-up that year, and it was also the highest Spanish language song to ever chart until the more recent times. Even going back to the 1950s, when Volare hit #1 for 5 weeks, it finished 4th in the contest, as did Love is Blue by Paul Muriat, a vocal version that was, his instrumental, which spent an incredible number of weeks at #1 on both the easy listening and the Hot 100 charts. Eurovision can be influential, with the Eurovision Canada set to premiere sometime this year and Eurovision Asia officially also axed because of pre-production issues. It's no sign as to whether or not the American Song Contest can and will make it back to the airwaves and can or will succeed. But the producers should really push hard with every American network they try that they have to follow the Eurovision format. In this case, because of the number of states, 3 semifinals and a grand final within the same week. All live, all no commercials, and everything done exactly as Eurovision does. If you take your time, it will eventually catch on in America. But when you have a limp support system, the best of which can be said about NBC, it's not going to work. And I, for one, am happy NBC is not likely to be involved with any future incarnation of the American Song Contest, or any other contest of that matter, anytime soon. And that's this week's cover story. Out of the box this week, I've got some new 45 stuff from Dawn and Mary. I also got some other stuff from Dawn and Mary, but I'm not going to show it. I got a great classic Star Trek guide that shows collectibles and stuff, but it's from the 90s, but the pictures are amazing. I also picked up Kim a set of little cats for her table. They're little cat statues, and I picked up some Beanie Babies, but I'll show all of those when I get the rest of them I've ordered. So I'm sorry, I'm a big Beanie Baby fan. Blame Don West. In any case, 45 from Dawn and Mary this week. I think there's a total of 15, is that right? 15. They're usually doing 15 for $10 starting bid these days. And most of these I do not have. I have a few of them, but most of these I do not have. Starting with Tavares and Heaven Must Be Missing an Angel. I have this on an album. I do not have the 45. Painted Ladies, Ian Thomas, backed with Will You Still Love Me? I really wasn't that familiar with the song until it popped up on one of the radio retro shows recently. I knew it was on the chart, but I hadn't really been familiar with the song. Alone Again, Naturally, Gilbert O'Sullivan. I've got several copies of that. Spirit, I Got a Line on You, and She Smiles. I have never seen this Ode label, so this goes back quite a ways. The Ode label I'm familiar with is the one in the 70s, the white and silver one, that Carole King and Cheech and Chong were on. The Supremes, Love Is Here and Now You're Gone, and There's No Stopping Us Now. Classic Motown from them. A Natural Man and Believe in Me from Lou Rawls. This is probably from the early 70s. I know his late 70s smash, You'll Never Find Another Love Like Mine, was on Philadelphia International, so that's quite older than that. Hey Jude and Revolution from the Beatles, which I believe I have a copy of. I'm not sure. I have to check. Big Log and Far Post by Robert Plant. I actually have this on picture sleeve. Very cool song. Never did understand the title of that, though. Hip to Be Square and Some of My Lies Are True by Huey Lewis and the News. This is one of the singles I do not have by them, I don't think. Fifth of Beethoven and California Strut from Walter Murphy and the Big Apple Band. I have this. It's a different pressing because the label's different. Simon Says and Reflections from the Looking Glass by 1910 Fruit Gum Company. I want to say I picked up one of these from Dawn and Mary before. I don't know for sure. I'd have to look. Endless Love, Lionel Richie and Diana Ross, vocal and instrumental version from the film of the same name. The song is way better than the film. Trust me, I saw it at the theater. Let's Go All the Way and Chocolate Girl from the Whispers. Hotline and That's What Love Is Made Of from the Silvers. Big hit in the 70s. And finally, classic from Sugarloaf, Green Eyed Lady and West of Tomorrow. And those are my pickups from Dawn and Mary. I have several things on order that aren't here yet, and I'll bring those up as they arrive. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. I had something else from Out of the Box too. A couple weeks ago, as you guys know, I'm a chart person. I'm a survey person, and years ago when I was a kid, I used to collect all the surveys that were available at the local department store, record department, where they would carry paper versions of the old surveys. I have a few of them I still have on my website. I've scanned them in, but they're, you know, a lot of them are. So, I mean, somebody on eBay was asking $35 for one top 40 sheet from KFI from 1970, I think it was. I'm like, what? Really? That kind of ephemera is that valuable? Well, I found a gentleman on eBay who actually lives locally. I didn't realize that. He lives in Brockton. His name is Paul, and he was offering a set of Boston radio surveys from the 70s for really inexpensive, under $10. And I'm so happy. And now I have this whole box to go through. We have surveys from a bunch of different radio stations, all from the late 70s. WRKO, Radio 68. 93 BOS, Boston Disco Plus. Boston's top albums and singles from WBZ FM. Rockin' Stereo. Now, you got to realize all of these channels are, most of them are under with different call letters and different formats these days. Another different formatted one from RKO. WBCN, which was a AOR station. WACQ, a station that even Kim doesn't remember. More from WRKO. And Kiss Disco, Kiss 108, which is the only radio station in here that is still operational and still playing Rhythmic Top 40. So I think there's 20 some of these all together. I will have them scanned and available for you to look at on the Kirkham Report in the next couple of weeks on the full website, not on this channel, obviously. But I have been having so much fun reading through these. And Paul, who I bought these from, sent this along too. I will very much enjoy these surveys, Paul. I really appreciate it. I appreciate you being reasonably priced. And I'm always on the lookout for these. If you guys have any that you want to get rid of, you can send them to me. If you have them and have them for sale at a decent price, I will buy them. Just like radio transcripts, I'm the same way for radio transcriptions of American Top 40 and all those kind of shows. I'm always in the market for those, so don't forget about that. And that is this additional bit of Out of the Box. Some Eurovision news going on this week. First off, they have announced the hosts for the Eurovision Song Contest 2023, which will air on the BBC in England. It's being held in Liverpool in the stead of Ukraine, who cannot host it due to the war at the moment. They will be hosted by Alicia Dixon, who is a very popular, I believe she's a singer as well as a television presenter. Graham Norton, who has always hosted the Eurovision. He has been the commentator most years for the finals. Hannah Waddingham, who I'm not familiar with. She's an actress. And from the Ukraine, Julia Sanina will join them also. They'll also have help from Melga Droyek, most recently best known in America for the Great British Baking Show, Rylan, Scott Mills, Claire Sweeney, Sam Quake, and Timur Miroshnichenko. I'm sorry if I butchered that. It's great that they'll have representation for the Ukraine hosts as well as the British hosts who will be helping them out do this, because Ukraine, of course, won last year's contest, and that is usually where they would host it, but it is still the invasion by Russia is ongoing. It was a year ago we were first talking about this, and so they won't be hosting it, but they are. Their flag is still center in the Eurovision logo this year because they are the winners, and Liverpool is stepping into their stead. Eurovision will be held this year. Let me get the date. May 9th, 11th, and 13th. The semifinals on the 9th and 11th, and the finals Saturday, May 13th. And now you can check out all of the Eurovision songs without any further difficulty. I don't want any more excuses from you people. You need to get involved with Eurovision. And as the songs premiere, you can find them on the Eurovision Song Contest 2023 playlist right here on TKR Video Central. Just scroll down on my main page and you'll find the playlist. All of the songs as they premiere will be there, and I want you to listen to them and let me know what you think. You guys need to get involved in Eurovision because it's just so much kitschy fun. You'll be sucked in and won't be able to avoid it from this point on. And that's Eurovision news for this week. Okay, time for this month's black box shipment. They have the regular cardboard box this time. I have not looked in it. I have just pre-scored it. As always, I do not check these out ahead of time. I like to do it on the show. And Black Box has been very good to me lately. Everything that they've sent lately I have really loved. So it's worth the money. Let's start. Let's see what we got here. Let's pull out the first one. It's 2 albums a month for $45, I think it is. Oh, I see a sticker pulling out too. We'll check that out in a minute. Oh, I was actually looking at this one. I just got my new Collector's Choice Music catalog, and I was looking at this in there. Yeah, this definitely, I was actually thinking about purchasing it then, too. This came out in 2022. Marvin Gaye, Greatest Hits Live in '76. There's the hype sticker. What's going on? Where is it? Let's get it on. I heard it through the grapevine. This was recorded on a sold-out Eden Halle concert hall. I hope I got that right. In Amsterdam during Marvin's first European tour in 1976. And it's got a lot. Look at the track listing on that. I'll just hold that up for a minute. You can still it if you want to. Crazy, great stuff there. Okay, that's definitely a plus. Let's see what else is in here. Oh, wow. Oh, the sticker. Strangely enough, I don't have this. Even on CD, I don't have this. I have the single. And I've always loved them, so this is going to be great. Cosmic Thing from B-52s. The 1989 multi-platinum album is back on vinyl. Features Love Shack, Rome, and Channel C, Jazzy, made in Czech Republic. It does not say anything about colored vinyl or anything, so I'm not going to bother opening it right this second. Love B-52s. I'm not the huge fan that my friend Steve Carlson is. I know he's a big fan. I like most of their stuff. Rock Lobster, one of my favorite songs of all time. But this was great, and this actually gave them... Love Shack was their first top 40 hit. Amazing as that is, it was their first big hit. And Rome also did well. Oh yeah, this is... I am definitely going to like this. Great stuff there. Thank you, Black Box. Let's see what else. Is that all the stickers? Just those two? Nope, there's more. Oh my gosh, there's way more. Okay. Stickers this time we have... My box fell over. Excuse me for a minute. Get up here. Guns N' Roses sticker. I think they've sent that before. I had one of those. Look at this. A classic Decca label sticker. Wow, that goes way back. I mean, it's too... Let me see if I can actually see what it says. Long Plain. This is a reproduction of the Rolling Stones' Let It Bleed label. Wow, that's cool. Kiss Army. Kim will like that. And Poison. Kim will like that too. Cool stuff from Black Box this month. Thank you so much, Black Box. You've been very good. Really, really, really impressing me with the selections since I changed up my my requirements and stuff. I really appreciate it. Love those. Those are both going to be awesome. I'll be listening to those this weekend. That's this month's Black Box Record Club shipment. Guys, I'm really surprised that more of you haven't taken advantage of this yet. I'm advertising your VC channels for free on Obscuria every day. So far, we've only got 3 takers. All of them are people I talk to all the time, but there's so many great VC channels out there. Don't you want to help get some free publicity? I have a little box in the corner of Obscuria on the right, bottom right, where I show a little ad for other VC channels, and it's all for free. It's my way of saying thank you for being a supporter of the Kirkham Report and all my shows. And it's really easy. All you need to do is come up with a rectangular graphic for your show. Make sure it has the name of the show or the name of the channel and the show if it is a show. If it is a regular show at the time you usually post it, your name and the link, and voila, I will mix it into the rotation. And I really thought more people would be interested in this. I'm surprised that I've only received interest from 3 people on it. And I really thought we would do better with that. So I hope you'll take advantage of that. If you got a channel, please, by all means, send me a graphic and we'll get you out there. I mean, you never know. It might actually lead to more people watching you. Obscuria, I have a lot of regular listeners. The last couple of weeks, it's actually dipped into the 100 views area a few times. I don't know what's doing that. Maybe the fact that I'm plugging it more in more places, and so are a couple of other people. But hey, you never know. Could lead to extra stuff. So please send in a graphic and advertise for free on Obscuria every day. Not like there's been any huge demand for it, but I do have an update on the t-shirt situation. I have some shirts ordered for a couple people who have won them, and they were supposed to be here in early January. Here it is, almost March. I still haven't received them. Oh, we're backed up. We're having all kinds of problems, blah, 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 blah. Well, I'm not the only person having problems with Teespring right now, and I have decided to ditch them. I have picked a new vendor out, and I will have a new t-shirt store up in the next couple of weeks if you want to check them out. I would really appreciate it, because not only does it help support the channel, it shows off what you're listening to, and I hope you'll like it. I'm going to be a little bit more offered than just the Kirkham Report shirt too when I get done with it, but it should be up by, I don't know, mid-March. I have a week coming off of work here in March, and I will be catching up with that and a few other things. But in any case, I will have the new link up on the website shortly, and I hope that you will take advantage of it. Okay, I really appreciate those, because a couple people have asked me actually have asked me, how do I order a t-shirt? And I've sent them the link, and then I wrote them and said, no, don't do that, because they're not sending them out. So wait for the new link, and it'll be there shortly. I haven't talked about it in a while, but I am still working on the back end of Record Store Rewind. This site has been a bitch from beginning to end. What I envisioned is not happening. It just, everything, WordPress is a very difficult system to work with, something like how I want it to work. And so I'm not sure I'm going to be able to do that. I still have the basics up. I haven't updated a lot in the last several months, but it is coming. I do want to get it rolling by the end of spring in a big way. And I haven't received any contributions since like last year. I've told you there's a special out there. I will link to it again in the show notes. The easy things you can do to help me make this site work. This site is for you guys, the vinyl community, and for anyone interested in the history of record stores over the years. It's not something to be taken lightly. The record stores of today are really fantastic, but there were some great ones in the past, and in the not too distant past too. And I can't make that happen without your help. So please take the time to get involved. Rewatch that special. It's, I mean, the simple thing to do. Grab your old phone books, Xerox the copies of the listings for record stores, variety stores, and send them to me. I'll do the research. I just need the leads. That's all you got to do. So please get involved with Record Store Rewind. Go check out the embryonic site at recordstorerewind.com, and know that I hope it will be fully operational sometime in the spring of 2023. Hopefully by the end of this, by Memorial Day weekend. That's what my goal is, to get it up and running, at least for, you know, the stuff I know by then. It's just a matter of formatting. It's a matter of trying to find a WordPress a theme that will work with it, or doing something from scratch. That's what the big delay has been, is trying to develop it, because every time I try to develop it, it makes it harder and harder to do it, and harder and more unwieldy to work with, and that's not what I want. So please come over and check. Be a contributor. Don't hold that information in. I know all of you guys have it out there. You've been buying vinyl for decades, most of you, and you owe it to your fellow vinyl community to let them know about the places you used to shop. So please take part. RecordStoreRewind.com, and you can email me anything you have. You can use the form on the site, or you can email it to me in the email address in the show notes. And thank you for helping out. Okay, now that I'm done guilting everybody about Record Store Rewind, that's going to do it for this week. I actually have some other things going on that I'll be talking about in weeks ahead. Number one, I want to say I'm sorry I did not get the premiere of Label Nova up this week. It was supposed to be up Friday. I am doing Chelsea Records on the first show, and this week has been, it wasn't so much work as it was this crazy weather system that's been going through the whole country and screwing up a lot of things. Plus, Kim was not feeling well one day this week, and I wasn't feeling well one day this week. It is, I got the research done. I just need to get it recorded and get it posted. So Label Nova will premiere, I'm hoping, this Friday, but if not, at the very latest, the following Friday, and it'll be every other Friday. I got lots of labels we're going to be doing on that show. I'm also working on a new show, another new show that will premiere, that will be the show that will alternate with it on Fridays. And I'll tell you more about that when we get there, because I don't anticipate that premiering until at least April, maybe May. But we'll get into that as we go forward. I have a lot more, as I said, I have a lot more stuff coming. I have several things ordered or on pre-order that should be showing up in the next week or so that I hope to have on the show. A lot of them are current stuff. I was looking through the gold mine, the new gold mine, and they're talking about this set that Kansas put out, and I was like, oh, I'd like to get that. And then I went and looked at it. It doesn't even have half the songs I like on it. Why would I bother? Sometimes I don't understand the way box sets work, but in any case, there's a few collections I'm looking at getting right now. I know there's a new Scepter singles collection coming out for Dionne Warwick that I want to get. If you guys have news on that, but by all means, shoot me the links and stuff, because I'd love to order that. Sawyer Fredericks has a new EP out. There's I gotta look more into the Kansas thing. There's a couple of other complete album sets I'm looking for, and there's another new one from Little River Band that I'm looking for. All kinds of good stuff I'm going to be researching in the next few weeks, and hopefully adding to my collection, and that'll give me more to talk to you about. Office stuff is still slowly coming. I'm actually working on organizing a few things before I actually finish the physical reorganization. We've had a few issues in the house the last couple of months, and it's affected that, because we can't move stuff from room to room always because of stuff going on. So, because when I do this room, it's going to have to be all moved out. I'm gonna, completely. I want to move everything out, every bit of furniture, every bit of possession, every bookcase, every book, every album. Everything has to be moved out of the room. I want to be able to come in and vacuum and shampoo the floors, because we have really light carpets, and we've been here for 5 years. They really need to be redone. And then, when I do that, then I will be back and I will get my new setup done. I have another. I'm out of room again. I have 2 more bookshelves on a bookcase over here filled with stuff, and I have another Kallax 9-box Kallax waiting to be put together. I bought it at the same time I bought that one. I just don't have room for it in here, and I got all these 45s I got to get done, and then I got to get to the storage unit and sort that crap out. Get rid of ton. I mean, in storage we have a 10 by 10, and it is full to the brim, right to the door, ceiling to floor, with crap, because we're hoarders basically. But I have Kim's cassettes are over there, Kim's CDs are over there, my cassettes are over there. A lot of stuff that I want to eventually get back into the flow of things here at the Kirkham Report. So we'll be doing that as the year goes on. It's going to be a busy 2023, and we're only 2 months into it. I can't believe it's already almost March. This year's just flying by. Thank you for watching, and thank you for subscribing if you have already, and if you haven't, please do. I really appreciate all the subscriptions. Please remember, when you're watching one of my shows, to click that share button and share it with your friends or family, because that helps a lot on my YouTube algorithms, and it also gets the word out. We've been doing that a lot with Obscuria lately, and it's paying off. The Obscuria has been climbing on a regular basis every day for the last 2 weeks since the new system launched, and I really, really can't thank you enough for doing that. I have the big share notice in the middle, so please continue to do that, because it is making a difference, and I really appreciate it. Don't forget to watch all of my other shows. They are usually on in the morning, in the afternoon at 4 p.m. They are Influencers on Wednesdays, Vinyl Recall on Thursdays, let me try that again. Influencers on Tuesday, Vinyl Recall on Wednesday, Rank This on Thursday, Label Nova on Fridays, alternate Fridays, the Kirkham Report on Saturdays, and the Radio Retro Countdown on Sundays, all at 4 p.m. Eastern. I also have daily Obscuria Vaults every Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. And this Monday, February 27th, if you're watching this late, I will be live at 6 p.m. Eastern with my pal Don as we tackle radio, old-fashioned top 40 radio, and our memories of it on this week's edition of Finding Your Music Mojo. It will be on the TKR VideoCentral channel this time, and I urge you to come by and contribute. Talk to us in chat, and let us hear what you've got to say about your memories of Top 40 radio. That's plenty for today, and I hope you will continue to always enjoy what I have to put out there. I'm TC Kirkham, the Kirkham Report. I'll see you soon. Ciao, baby.